And we're live. Good day, Whiskey brothers, sisters. Welcome to the Whisky Book Club's 7th book review. The single edition of 50 Ways to Cure a Hangover by Cara Frost Sherritt is an atypical whiskey book for us. Not quite the same as usual. It'll be just as fun as our other programs, but a little bit less cerebral. So let's just say that. My name's Dolph. I'm president of the Alberta Scotch Society. I'm the founder of Whisky Book Club. I'm your host tonight. For those of you new to us, welcome. And I'll explain a little bit of what we're about. We're a group of whiskey geeks who love to share a gram, or two, or three, kind of for some of us right now. And we like to share a passion for reading, mostly about whiskey or whiskey-related activities. There are other alcohol book clubs out there. I need to say this again, but none quite as good as us, because we delve deeply into this book. We don't just do one, although we're only doing one tonight. We generally do 5, 6 different nights with the author. And, well, we don't need an author tonight because it's not that type of book. So the choice of our 7th book, based on our desire to think very little tonight. That's really what we want. And have fun with this stocking stuffer bathroom type of book, which is what this is right here. Like I said, it's not cerebral. It's fun. It's cute. It's just a little something to give people. And I'll put it right in front of my face so you don't have to look at me. There we go. All good. And, yeah, let's just start it off there. Let's start the introductions. We're going to do our names, our other handles. You're going to tell us what's in your glass and glasses, because I know some of us have a few. And we're going to go alphabetically. So Cheryl, Dave, Drew, Kent, Nicole, and last but certainly not least, Sheila. So you're up first, Cheryl.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Cheryl, known as Cheryl's_1 on social media. Tonight, in my glass, I've got a dark and stormy cocktail.
With our friends. Romero from Calgary, Alberta.
Nice. And Dave.
Hi, guys. It's Yukon Dave coming from the basement, as always. Tonight, I'm drinking a, you see that? Cooper's Choice, and can't read the rest of it, but it's 28-year-old. Okay.
My handwriting's not that bad, but
I was going to say, this came from a teacher. That's why I can't read it. Or a doctor. I'm not sure.
Nice. Thank you, sir. And Kent. No, it's Drew. No, Drew. We're doing this on.
Hi, Drew, at Drew Semper on most of the social medias. I am having a Blackadder Blair Findy 25.
Nice. Excellent. And now to you, Kent. Sorry.
Hi, my name is Whiskey Ass on most social medias, and tonight I'm doing a Robbie Burns calendar, day 2. So it is a blind tasting, and we haven't figured out what it is. There's not much left to go either. So I'm also two-fisting with my beer, which is a nice Innocent Gun tonight.
Love it. Yeah. My wife's favorite. Very sweet. And Nick.
Hey there, everyone. I am Nick. I go by Black Cat Whiskey, and I'm doing a Blackadder Blairfendy as well tonight. So, cheers.
Did you get any of the sediment on the bottom? Any of that come out?
Oh, yes. It is nice and floaty, so
nice.
Very enjoyable.
All right. Good stuff. And
I'm Sheila. I go by Ann Coney on all the social medias. And I, too, am drinking the Blackadder Blairfendy because apparently that's the popular drink of the evening. For those who don't know, it came with our book. So Dolph was very generous this Christmas season and gifted us all with drams and
Oh, thank you. It's my pleasure. Share the stuff I love. So, and we love books and we love whiskey. I figured the 2 is what we need. And I'm doing 2 tonight. So this one right there. So Ralphie's Whiskey of the Year, the Aaron 10. So we've got that. And the second one, and I'm doing this as well. So see a little Robbie Burns face there. Very good. So Nicole's started us off on this Robbie Burns whiskey calendar. It's an advent calendar after the advent calendar time. And it's fantastic. Last night was a very good dram, had lots of us guessing. It's very fun to do this and go back and forth and see how close you are or are not. And I'm going to say my official guess for this was, I forget all of a sudden. No, I told you guys before. What did I say? Petty, no.
German octave.
Gervan or Gervan?
German.
Gervan, I'm saying an octave because I'm getting some wood. And I could be quite possibly completely off, but that was my decision on here. So that's where we are. That's where we stand. And I'll keep drinking, but let's start the book. I've got two things to read first before Dave. Go ahead, Dave.
Can you put that Aaron 10 up again?
Yeah.
So different than mine.
This is their new bottling.
Oh, okay.
You got the old bottling.
Yours might be better, maybe. Well, this one's the one Ralphie said, but that doesn't mean that we like it better. It's just
got this in the summer.
Good.
I'll send you a sample.
Excellent. I'll do the same, buddy. We'll try it out. Face off. See what's going on. Talking about face-offs, if anyone hears if Canada scored again, you could probably tell us or type it on the side because we're doing this during the third period. I'm going back to the book. And here we go. So I'm just going to start. I'm reading two things for you, a quick introduction, the science bit, and then we're getting right into the panel. They're going to tell us what they think. So the introduction. If a normal Saturday morning involves waking up with the room spinning, while your head is pounding and the inside of your mouth tastes like a festering swamp, you've picked up the right book. Only the most cunning drinker can accurately figure out which tipple will tip them over the edge and know when to call it a night. For the vast majority, a big night out turns into a hangover the next day, and that means endless hours of misery as your body tries to recover from the excess of the night before. Now, this has happened to all of us except for Drew, because Drew said, I think it was last week, 2 weeks ago, he's never had a hangover. I'm having a hard time with that, but we're going to believe him just for sake of the book. So, and we'll hear more about what he does to not get a hangover later, I think. So now I'm doing the sciencey bit really quick, a little sciencey bit. Everyone knows that if you drink too much alcohol, you'll suffer it the next day, except for Drew. But what exactly does it do to your body, and why does it have so many nasty side effects? Well, once you get down to the nitty-gritty, there's plenty of culprits hiding inside your glass of wine or beer. I'm not reading this thing. I'm not in the mood to read this thing. I know I usually like to hear myself talk, but not tonight. I want to hear what you guys think about this. So essentially, I'll tell you, in a nutshell, they say darker alcohol, our whiskeys and rums and the dark wines are more likely because of the esters. And I'm not sure that's true, but that's what they say in here. And it's because the alcohol dehydrates us. And they say all throughout the book, drink water, which is my wife's favorite thing. Drink water, drink water, drink water, which I think it's really just to slow me down and not drink so much. So you drink water. She's even giving it to mine. All right. So, we're going to do round robin, then one. But if someone agrees with something someone says, we should say that out loud too, just so that they feel a little bit of love and support from the group. I'm going to go in the order that I see. So I'm going to go clockwise and keep going clockwise till we hit some stuff. So Nick, Yukon, Dave, Sheila, Drew, Kent, Cheryl, and then back up to me. And then we'll kind of just go around. Hopefully, because I know this is going to degrade to some person just saying whatever they want, whenever they want, but we're going to start being organized for the first couple minutes anyways. Are we ready? Nick, you're starting us off. What do you think?
I like the end. If all else fails, you need to just put this down.
Okay, that's very simple. And you want to tell me about this book too. I want your opinion because when we were talking about this before, you said, I don't like it. I'm not loving the book. Tell me why, Nick. Let's get this out of the elephant in the room. It's a horrible book and we don't like it, but tell me why.
You know what? It gives drinking a bad name. And this is a very almost old school type of thought and mentality around about drinking. There's nothing about alcohol appreciation in this. This is all about abuse more than anything and supporting abuse of alcohol. And that's where it really, pardon the pun, pisses me off. you can drink, you can over imbue, but you don't have to abuse. And this book says, oh yeah, just keep drinking, keep drinking, keep drinking. That's not reality, and I don't think that's how society treats alcohol right now either.
Well, not us. Or we I would like to think not, but you know,
No.
I might be wrong too. We'd have to ask the people who love us, who are more likely to tell us the truth. And I think that's what I have in this room. She generally tells me the truth. I think so. All right. Well, thank you, Nick. Perfect. Dave, you're up, bud.
Hey,
What's your first one?
well, I didn't care for, well, I liked the book when it first started, the first couple of chapters, but then after that, it got to be a kind of a fraternity, kind of a drinking game book. And I just felt uneasy about it. And yeah,
Okay.
I've had a few hangovers, so. Yeah.
Well, tell us your first one in here, buddy.
What's that?
Your first one that you like in here. Because
Well,
there's some of these I agree with too.
This one really got my interest. It says, build up a sweat, lick the armpit of a friend. And
it was horrible. Just do a summary of it.
Well,
for me.
It says that you're supposed to basically dance around and then lick your buddy's armpit to cure a hangover. And because it was Native American, I didn't want to comment on it. So I sent this picture of this page to my friend who is a Native American. And I thought, I'll get to the bottom of this. And I haven't got an answer back yet. Hopefully by the end of the show, we'll hear something.
Yeah.
This could be true. I don't know.
Is that Eric Paul by any chance you sent it to?
No, I sent it to my buddy in Montana.
Oh,
And they said American Indian. They didn't say Canadian in there when they're referring to it. But these people, this book's from England, I believe, where it's published in London anyway. So we're going to, maybe they have no idea what's going on. But it was to sweat this stuff out, though, first, right, Dave? You're supposed to work with sweat. But I didn't really get why we were licking your own or your friend's armpit. Did anyone actually go over that to actually make sure you understood it? I just kind of brushed over because I knew I was going to pick that one.
I don't know. I just sent it away to get an opinion from somebody that knows something. So
Okay.
I just found it real interesting.
Sure. It was interesting. We all remembered it, obviously, when you said that. We all kind of turned away and chuckled. So that's good. Sheila, go ahead, Dave.
I've had days where I had to go to ball practice and stood on the field and you could smell me from across the diamond.
What's that
So
smell? It smells like
So I'm
daddy.
thinking there's something to it.
Okay, sure. Sheila, you're number one, or one you liked.
My number one. I'm like Dave. It started out, it wasn't so horrible. And so I started out at the beginning of the book, I found not so horrible things. Number two, forward planning. To get a DD. I'm always big on DDs. The idea of if you don't have a DD with you, pre-order your Ubers. Make sure you have a safe ride home. Make sure that you're always going to get home okay. Even if you're not drinking to excess, that's always a great piece of advice. I'm good with that one.
Yep.
Have your same point. So you kind of go after that.
The one I went through there, that it was just more of a like it says, sip a spoonful of milk thistle. So I haven't done it yet, but I got to do a whole bunch of research because I have no clue what milk thistle is.
Anyone else do this? I wrote down all the herbs that they talked about. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 6 herbs or vitamins. Vitamin C. I don't know if we should call it that they talked about being the milk thistle. It helped the what? The liver with unwanted toxins. So that's good.
Yeah,
Those of us that do drink some stuff, we got to be nice to our liver. I think if we could build up the little liver in there, sure. Well, I don't know. I have no idea. Maybe I should have looked up milk thistle and had a picture came up. That's all right. Kent, you're up.
well, no, I'm going to let Cheryl go first, actually.
Because otherwise he will steal mine going, well, that's what I was going to say. So there was definitely a few things in here that, are, semi-normal. But the one that really just kind of threw me was to sip on a bull's penis soup.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And that was only in what country?
Argentina?
Bulgaria, I think it was.
Bolivia.
Or Bolivia.
Bolivia. Okay.
So,
South America is where you got to go for that one.
so if you weren't sick beforehand, you would be sick shortly thereafter.
All right, good. But you weren't going to pick that one, Kent. So which one did you pick?
Well, I had a couple. One of them was your citrus in the armpit.
I like that one.
I was like, I just don't understand that one at all.
Yeah.
Me
But-
either. And I looked through that. Like I looked over it again for an explanation, but they didn't give an explanation. They said just make sure it doesn't clash with your cologne.
Yeah, exactly. It was, and the other one, and I lost my page marker, but the other one was eat a canary.
Oh, yes.
I was like, first off, who has a canary sticking around to eat? You know, and you know, are they
I thought it was funny.
raw? You cook them? It's like, okay.
It's
Sorry,
funny
anyway.
what they said about the cat, though. They said if you're going to do it, you have to have a cat so that you can blame something else.
Yeah, blame the cat.
Because who's going to own up to that as an adult? Maybe as a 16-year-old, you would have said that to your friends. Guess what I did?
Yeah, I was going to say
No.
that the cat was if you steal your grand's canary.
Yeah,
You know, if you went to the pet store and you had your own canary, you don't have to blame it on a cat.
Got it?
yeah.
But if you have to keep going back and buying more
Yeah,
canaries, people are going to wonder about you.
Well, I'm just thinking you better have Aussie Crazy Train playing in the background.
Crazy train.
All right. I'm gonna pick two things, and we have a lot. Like many of us have a lot, but I've got two things. One that they say not to do, and I do, and the other thing they say to do, and I do. So let's go with. They said don't mix and match. And if you look at our panel tonight, I don't know how many of us are mixing and matching, but generally Dave and me and Ken usually have a beer with our scotch
Yeah.
and water and had wine before it's something. I've mixed and matched and not cared with careless abandon. Who cares? But I have had hangovers. But the other one I do is soak it up with snacks. And if you guys ever see, I don't think we usually eat on the after dram, but the after dram, all of us are pulling out the snacks and we're just, I'm shoving the food in there, just going kind of crazy. So, no. And yeah, so those are the two that I do. And one I don't agree with them. The other one I agree with them. And we're just going to keep going. So, Nick, do you have something else in there that you can agree with or not agree with? You want to pull it out? Take your pick. This is
I think the agree ones match what others have said, like soaking it up with snacks, forward planning. Those are all appropriate. Those are what we'd like to think is common sense.
Mhm.
And how you're responsible. But there's just some craziness here.
Do you want to mention something that was very crazy? The lemon under the armpit was funny, but crazy.
Yeah.
I still didn't get it. The canary was scary.
Yeah.
It was. And the licking the armpit was gross. So we're hitting kind of a gambit of stuff. Anything else in there?
Fishy. Try something fishy. I'm not too sure, but after you've had a little bit too much, how is eating some dried eel and bitter almonds going to help you?
I've never heard of that, by the way. Anyone ever hear that? Is this a British Isle thing? I was going to ask some of my friends who have traveled there. The
only thing
dried or salted fish.
Yeah. The only thing fishy I'd say on a British Isle, it'd be after the pub, you trip into the fish shop to get like some fish and chips on the way home, same as we would to like a Donair or
McDonald's
or whatever.
whatever else. It's what's open at 3:00 in the morning.
Yeah. And you're walking it off. It's good. Well, there's something else. But Dave, something you liked, something you disliked, disagreed with?
I really like this one. Go out with sensible friends.
Yeah.
So Cheryl, Nick, and Sheila, next time I'm going out, you guys want to come with me?
What are you trying to say?
The ladies were
I think there's more to say in what he left out than what he actually said.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm not sensible. I'm a teacher, for God's sakes. People trust me with their children all day. 200 a day, man. You can't trust me one night.
I was at a beer show one day and my daughter was with me going to university, and she says, Dad, there's some teachers came in here. I said, yeah, what about it? Well, they're drinking. I said, you don't know teachers, I said.
They drink quite a bit. And Dave, you have served me on the other side of the table too at earlier on. And I think I had quite a bit at different events. I think.
Sure.
My wife says never, so I never have.
Never.
Apparently, I'm very good.
Plausible deniability.
There we go. Done.
Yeah,
Sheila, something you like? Dislike? Throw it up.
Likes. I like the idea of leaving your wallet at home and your debit cards at home and only going out with a specific amount of cash, especially when we're traveling to somewhere that we don't know. I like that idea of only having so much money in your pocket.
Okay. Are you someone that would spend a lot of money going out? It's like, give me the $50 shot, 1 ounce of scotch somewhere. Would you do that?
We've
done
been
that.
we've been to places where we've done that, but I've also been to places where it's like, you've had a little bit too much, and you've probably been way too easily talked into something that you probably couldn't afford if you'd had more money. But if you don't have any more money, you can't spend it.
Mm-hmm.
So when you're done, you're done. And if you book your cab ride home, you don't have to worry about,
Oh, that's why Uber's fantastic. I love Uber, and no matter, as long as your phone has power to it, and that's happening at the end of the night. Asking the waitress for her phone charger for 5 minutes so I could actually do an Uber. I've done it. So, 2:00 in the morning. Anyone have a charger? But I agree with you. How many of you guys? Because I have a wallet, and I have a massive wallet now because the phone goes in it. I didn't like ever taking that out with me. If we're going on, we're exploring somewhere, we're pubbing in London, we're doing it in anywhere. In Munich, I always had a small wallet that I had 1 credit card, some cash, and my Alberta healthcare card.
Yeah.
That's it. And my other cards for stuff. Anyone else do that when they travel?
Oh, yeah.
Just have kind of a travel pouch, something small to have on you. Yeah, I like that. So that's good for many different reasons.
We usually throw a couple bills in our sock and our shoe just in case. Just an emergency fund.
Like Get Smart. Good.
Fake heel.
Kona silence. Let's all scream.
Jump in at the deep end. I figured for tonight I'd make the black velvet drink.
Oh, did you? And what was the last one with 3 shots of espresso?
That
was a dead eye.
Yeah, that's the red eye. That's the
There's
red
dead
eye.
eye and dead eye.
There's a red eye, dead eye.
And something else. This is the Guinness and champagne.
All right.
And how is that?
It's not bad.
All right.
It's got some carbonation.
No.
Okay. Not good.
It's
not bad.
It's
I want to see what it's like if you put the champagne in first.
Oh,
The
that'll be
sour-
next time.
Yeah. Well, we don't have champagne. We just have sparkling
Yeah, well,
wine.
I've got Henkel.
So
If you do the champagne first, and he talked about the spoon, so you pour the beer over the spoon to get the 2 levels, that would look pretty cool.
It says fill it with Guinness, fill it half full with Guinness, and then use a spoon to put it over the top.
yeah.
So I think we're going to try it next time of putting the champagne in first, and then using the spoon and pouring the Guinness over top to see if it layers better that way.
Yeah, well, the Guinness is heavier.
Way heavier.
Way heavier healed.
Yeah.
It's not layering.
It's just that right now in the taste, all I taste is really kind of sour wine, and I'm not getting any of the Guinness flavoring at all.
Mhm.
So it's definitely layering, but it's not.
Okay. That's good.
That's
fine.
Go for the coffee one. I think that'd be fantastic. Laura said I'd be up all night, but I said it's espresso. They burn off all because it's so dark. You don't have as much caffeine and stuff.
But it's espresso in a regular coffee.
Oh, so regular coffee,
Regular
3
coffee.
shots of espresso, and then the
Yeah, and then you're up all night.
okay.
So if you want to modify that one, do the Guinness and Strongbow. It's really delicious.
No,
Okay.
Yeah, but it's a different name though, doesn't it? The Guinness and Strongbow. It's
Yeah, it's got a different
um,
name.
Black and White or something like that, or
Black and
King's Gap. Yeah. King's
Kate, you're up. Something you liked, something you disliked in there.
Me. Oh, me, oh, me. Whoops. There we go. No, that's the wrong one. There we go. Actually, these two pages are both truck and takeout. In other words, don't drink and drive, and then your basic chicken noodle soup. Kind of.
Yeah, that surprised me. Why do you pick chicken noodle soup?
Because I like chicken noodle soup. I like the way Campbell's used to make it when we were young, not this cheap crap that they do now that's more broth than anything else. But it's chicken soup is always just that when you're not feeling good, it's kind of that mom's go-to recipe.
It's comfort food.
Okay.
It's comfort food, yes.
Soup for the
Yeah,
soul.
you bet.
My chicken noodle soup, though, is the cup of noodle thing. I like those. Laura thinks it's just hideous. And but if I'm sick, that's the one I want. I don't want anything else. Well, unless it's homemade. If it's homemade soup, I'll like that. But if it's chicken, I want those really hard mini noodles, and I want. But I didn't think anyone would pick that because I thought I equated it with sickness more than.
Yeah, I've never thought of it as a hangover cure ever.
Just when you're not feeling good, what do?
That's probably all I could make on a hangover morning.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
And toast and peanut butter. He talks about.
Peanut butter, yeah.
Itchy bad noodles.
Yeah.
Cheryl.
I went with the Revitalize on the vitamins. So as much as they talk about the vitamin C in here, the part that I liked was sort of mixing the orange juice with cranberry juice, be refreshing and help with the hangover. And I just, that's kind of I've never thought to mix the cranberry and orange juice together. So I thought that was just kind of an interesting thing and something maybe worthy of trying even when you're feeling under the weather.
And I'm going to agree with that. And I'll tell you a story that goes with it. So I'm teaching in Europe. And this is for Oktoberfest. And Oktoberfest in Munich, and we're in Belgium. And so we take a train. And I have one buddy that, Lauren, who he took me under his wing when we first got there. He was the guy that helped me find a house and everything else. But he helped me find beer venues. And so he had already been to Oktoberfest in Munich. And we take a train there. And we're in a train with two other teachers. They're American teachers. One is in the armed forces, American armed forces, and she is a phys ed teacher. And they're about 50 years old, and they took care of us. We went in there. They had fried chicken, they had sandwiches, and an ungodly amount of beer. And we start drinking at 4:00 in our little cub car, and we're there with probably 15 other teachers going to this Munich Oktoberfest, but everyone's got their own car. But we made it through 24 pretty quick, and then he pulls out his 24, and then we drank through that. And I remember falling asleep at about 3:00 in the morning. We get there at 5:30. So it's an all night. So it's a sleeper car as well, but we spilled beer all over the place. So it was hard time sleeping. And we get there, and you get to the La Gare. What's that? The train station. We get to the train station, and you can shower there. So they've got little shower stalls. You pay for it. So €3. I go in. I clean off all the disgusting everything off me, and we're walking into Munich downtown. But we go to the first. Anyone here been to Munich?
Yeah.
So in Munich, there was the bar that Hitler went to that he started his beer hall push. And I forget the name of this bar. But right outside of it, there's a market. And I hit a juicer. And they had a whole bunch of different juices. And I needed something. I was in this case. And that perked me up. And I think I spent about €25 on 3 or 4 different things of juice, which is $40 worth of juice. But I had to get this before they started drinking again, because we were walking around and this place opened at 7, and then we started drinking beer there. And then there's a parade that starts the festivities in the morning, and then at 10:00, the beer tents open up. So we had to go from here, drink in the morning, go. I don't know how far it was, but it seemed like a long distance with no hangover anymore because I had juice, which felt great. But then you started with the beer. And then we finally got to our gigantic tent, and I'll tell you the rest of the story later because I'm talking too much. But the juice worked perfectly for me the very first time I tried it.
Nice.
Well, perfectly. I had another 3 more after,
What
but
type
I
of
had
juice?
a lot of juice, and it worked
type?
really well.
So, Dolph, was that like a hopper house that you went to?
That's it. That's the name. Thank you. And with big giant tables and they have little squares in the wall where people can put their there's the Munich colors where you could put your different things.
And you had Helga that had 5 of these in each hand. Yeah. She comes out.
Yeah. So this is a Lowenbrow one, and I went to the Lowenbrow tent. That was my very first one. So this is my favorite little guy. Anyway, done.
So, Dolph, was it mixed juice or was it just one type of juice?
They were juicing in front of you, so you had choices. They had ones that are specifically made, and I think she could tell I was in rough shape. She says, "I have the right one for you. I have the one. I have the pick for you." I think is what she said. I said, "Whatever." It's like, give me something. And she did. I drank it. I said, "I feel good. I think I want another." And she just started juicing different things for me. It was fantastic, and it wasn't a flirtatious thing either. She was like 90 some years old, but she was fantastic. She knew exactly what she was doing. God bless her that day. I don't know her name, but it's always the Hofbrau House.
Yeah.
Let's call her that. I've never called her that.
Hofbrau House Juicer.
Frau Juicer.
Yeah, the Frau Juicer. Yeah.
All right. So I talked a lot, so I'm going to skip my turn on here, unless, Nick, you want me to go. Have you picked your next one?
I actually have a question I want somebody to ask. I want to ask and see if somebody will try this. Line your stomach and start with a glass of milk.
Oh, yeah.
A quick and easy solution for when time is limited. So tell me, how well does milk work on your stomach and then throw in a whole bunch of alcohol on top of it? Because all I get is curdly.
Yeah.
You think about it, though, the milk is hitting acid in your stomach and breaking down. So,
possibly. How many of you have drunk milk when you're sick either? When the stomach's really upset, I kind of shy away from milk. So I'm thinking what you're thinking. That's a scary one. But anyone you ever do
half an hour beforehand, you drink milk, you can drink a lot of alcohol.
Definitely.
We used to do this as teenagers.
Yeah.
Well, we drink a lot of milk anyways, but yeah, we drink a lot of milk and then go out to the bar, just go all night. It was crazy.
Yeah. How about you, Dave? You ever do that?
Yeah, I don't know where it came from, but for some reason, as young people, we knew that if you couldn't get any food in you, get some milk in you.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's been
around for a while. Yeah.
Now I did think of cheese. Now they said milk, and I said I don't go with that, but wine and cheese is the thing, and it cuts the cheese. Well, the wine cuts the fat of the cheese, and I think it worked both ways. So maybe that would be helpful. I'm not sure.
I can tell you, don't eat a whole bunch of pierogies before you go out drinking.
Why? They would say that's a good thing in this book because they're carbs.
It didn't work.
That one experience.
Yeah.
Or you have to be Ukrainian. I think pierogies would be good because you got the sour cream that you're talking about. You're talking about the fat they talk about throughout the thing. All right, Sheila, you're up.
Oh, I was just going to say, milk, we used to use that at university all the time, way back 20, 25 years ago. So it used to work for me. One that I did not like in the book was, I think it was number 45-ish area, but it was basically just wake up the next morning and start drinking. So it's the old hair of the dog.
Mm-hmm.
So going back to the whole concept of not really respecting drinking or anything else, just get up in the morning and drink again.
Yeah.
And they even give you the Bloody Mary, how to do a Bloody Mary. So for us, it would just be a Caesar with lots of spice, I think.
Lots of spice. Replace the vodka with a peated scotch.
Yeah.
There you go. Perfect.
Yeah.
Some of us have done that. Dave, I think I skipped you, buddy. Did I?
No, I voiced an opinion earlier. So I really like the sound of number 31, Devour a Hearty Breakfast.
Yeah.
My problem is there's no way I'm moving off the couch to make it to the kitchen.
So you need someone to make it for
But
you.
that's why there's
That's why I have Drew.
Yeah.
make her all the stuff, or there's Uber Eats
making
or
your own
whatever.
breakfast.
Yeah, I'm making my own breakfast and just bringing some to her. Yeah.
Excuse me, sir. You have to come into my home and drop it off at my couch. There's an
Open-
extra tip on it for you, but you have to actually come into the home.
And open the box.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, didn't Amazon get in trouble for doing that?
And bring me a bucket. Chicken, just a bucket. All right. Ken, your turn.
My turn.
What do you want?
Well, right there. When in Mexico,
Well, that's the hair of the dog thing. There you go.
instead of doing an Irish, we do a Spanish coffee.
Okay. And Spanish coffee is with what liqueur then? Is it different?
No, I don't use that. Not Mandarin.
Oh, whoops,
Bag
that's
of
the
nugget.
Mandarin.
That's not the right one.
Right one.
I'm like, that's not the right
Well,
one.
it's got the wreath. Here, I'll use this ball because we have lots of it.
What is it?
Daristi?
Yeah.
I don't know what that is. What is it?
Well, it is a. I don't know how to describe it, but it's kind of a honey liqueur.
Honey.
Yes, yeah, it's the closest thing I
right.
can describe.
Oh no, keep them marked.
Made by the it was made by the Mayan and Aztec people. But anyways, it's quite delicious.
Excellent. And on holidays, I don't know if it's like hair of the dog and still drinking. You're just it doesn't count, Laura said. So I'm agreeing with my wife. Cheryl, you're up.
I kind of like the one with food in the honey pot, because there again, you're not feeling well, your throat's kind of irritated, whatever the case may be. I find it's a great go-to. I've never thought of it as a hangover cure. However, honey is very tasty. So I just kind of like that one.
And it,
Reminded me of a hot toddy recipe when I was reading it.
Yes.
Hot toddy.
yeah.
Yeah.
If you're feeling sick, a little bit of a sore throat, make yourself a hot toddy. That'll clear it up.
Absolutely.
And make sure you use
milk in there. Except Darren says no milk.
40
And
Yeah.
from North Star,
40
Alberta.
40 Creek's Copper Pot makes a really good hot toddy.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Excellent. Yeah, just stick with your 40 Creek. You know what? I'm really interested in what you guys are saying now because I thought we would all have pretty well the same stuff, but you guys are picking a lot of different things that I didn't pick. So it's kind of cool. I like this. I'm going to do my own.
It's going to be 3.
This one I learned when I started doing conferences with teachers, and it's always the teacher drinking thing. You know? But this is our union thing. Maybe I shouldn't say that. No, the Alberta Teachers Association has certain things where we have events and we learn how to do things. But at night, teachers like to let loose a little bit. We're networking, we're talking to people, we're having fun, and drinking excessively. So the next morning, what I always do when I'm going to the hotels, I always pack another bag to work out, and I started doing that no matter what happened the night before, no matter how late I was out, it was always a workout in the morning. And he has that in here. I'm sure. Anyone remember where about that was? There's a workout.
Yeah,
there we go.
it's farther back.
Number 22.
Yeah.
Work it off with a workout. And you know what? It works really, really, really well. So it forces you to drink water, I think, and then you're just sweating it out. And sometimes it's rough to get up at 5:30, 6:30 before the conference and just start, on the treadmill or whatever else it is. But I think it works. So that's good. No one said that yet. Nick, back to you.
Well, I have an interesting one. Given our limitations, I wondered how this would work. Bury yourself in sand. Would that work the same way with snow?
Well, snow in a hot tub.
I could go for that more than the sand. I didn't get that.
I didn't understand that one. It's like,
why bury just so you could sweat it out? Or I can't remember. I kind of
It's cold in the
Yeah,
sand.
it'd be
You wouldn't
cold.
sweat it out at all.
Yeah, it'd be cold and you'd be very restricted. So I'm not sure how this is helping.
I really took it more as a punishment for something you had done wrong, and your friends were just mean to you.
Yeah.
Like you were
Are you
horrible
Catholic too,
before,
Sheila?
and everybody was just out for you.
That's how I took it. Was the like, or they were being such a whiny. Oh, I'm not feeling well this morning. All the rest of so you go bury them in sand and you leave them there because then you don't have to listen to them bitch.
And they said that make sure that you didn't mouth people off the night before.
That's right.
Yeah.
I remember that part now. And so Sheila, are you Catholic? Do you have that Catholic guilt going on? That's what it sounds
I
like.
was raised Catholic, so yes, I understand the concept.
There you go. So, like an ostrich, instead of sticking your head in the sand, it's the rest of your body. And if you're drunk, you don't know the difference, I guess. So, next. Dave, you're up.
All right. This one's actually kind of a technical one for me. Lighten up for less of a hangover. So we've seen it a couple places, and I've read about it on the internet that darker spirits have congeners in them. So I'm thinking cheaper whiskey is going to give you more of a hangover than more expensive whiskey because the cheaper ones are tend to be made quicker. And
have
if you
some
go
of the
back-
heads and tails in there, sure.
yeah, if you go back in it, they said one of the congeners that they didn't like was methanol.
Yeah.
So that's the part we try and throw away if you're trying to produce a really high-end product. So I'd like to see if somebody wants to do that test for me. Let me know how it goes. Cheap whiskey versus a decent whiskey. Any
And,
thoughts?
well,
Any takers?
Well,
No?
cognac, I went to a cognac tasting recently, and the guy said, you'll never get a hangover on cognac. And
Yeah.
I don't know if I believe that either, but sure, why not? I think it's a thing that people should try. So maybe we have a night where we're online for 5-6 hours, and we're drinking. One of us will have a high quality scotch. The other one will have the rock gut stuff on the bottom that people don't want to pay more than $20 for, and then we'll have everything else, and we'll just see what happens. It's not
for Drew to have the rock gut.
thing per se.
Whatever.
It should make for a very entertaining 4, 5, 6 hours. I'm sure we'll have 3 people watching. I don't know, maybe just to see what happens. And I would watch. I'd kind of tune in after 3 or 4 hours just to see what happened. Had I known that people were just drinking excessively really bad alcohol, it's a science thing.
Did you ever see the Mythbusters when they did that alcohol thing and the guy had a bunch of drinks and got on the treadmill?
No. What were they
Oh,
trying
God.
to do?
That different ways of bringing you out of a hangover or bringing you out of
Sober you up.
sober you
So,
up.
like,
So
have coffee, have a cold shower, work out.
they gave him coffee. They gave him a slap in the face. That was really cool because they did it in slow motion and to see the impact in the head go. And then they said, well, exercise will sober you up. He got on the treadmill, fell, and kind of got back on it and flew off. And oh man, it was spectacular.
Oh yeah, I gotta
How
look
much
that one.
alcohol did they get?
You got to look that one up.
Oh, okay. I do like Mythbusters. Another
So
side.
so that one tells me exercising is dangerous.
Yeah.
If you're
When
still drunk,
drinking.
If you're
I
still
agree.
drunk.
there's got to be a good time for it, and it's the morning after for me. Down to you, Sheila.
I like the sneak in the soft drinks
Okay.
that they have, where it's alternating between the alcohol and the soft drinks, because they have a lot of like drink the water, and I always have water on the side to drink in between. But the idea of having soft drinks in between as well, where you can pretend that it's water, it's not necessarily a bad
He
idea.
made it seem a little bit sneaky, though, right? You're going to the bar, and then you bring your friends a whole bunch to drink, but you sneak a soft drink in there, type thing. So
That all falls back to the whole idea of that you're not drinking responsibly, and that it's this whole frat party book and drinking to excess, and the fact that you are having to hide that you're drinking responsibly, as opposed to just saying to people that I'm not going to drink this round. I'm going to have a pop instead of having a beer this round. And that's annoying. You should be able to be adult enough to just say that I'm going to have a pop this round, and no, I'm not going to have a beer.
Yep.
Well, now they have the de-alcoholized beer that's available at most places now too, so you can just pump one up.
Tastes like beer.
But that's also why you need to hang out with sensible friends.
Yes. And it's all your friends' fault. It's not you. It's the people you chose to drink with. I agree with that. Thank you very much. I like that show. So I'm going to blame it on Laura, my wife. I went out with someone sensible. What's the problem? I did my part. But
this is also kind of why I stopped going to bars, because trying to order a pop when you're at a bar, they'll bring you alcohol round and round and round, but you order a pop. The
pop is more expensive than the drink.
I couldn't tell you how many times we've watched our DD sit there with an empty glass because the server wasn't bringing them anything.
You'd have to go to the bar. You'd have to tell them you were the DD and make it a conversation with that person that night, I think. Because I was okay with that. When I was DD, I'd go up and you get free pop when you're DD and your friends are drinking incessantly. So that's good.
But is there tips on free pop?
From a medical lab perspective, nothing will actually decrease your blood alcohol other than time. Coffee, cold, and exercise are placebos. I like placebos. I believe in placebos. Why? Because it's a placebo.
Yeah. But if you slow down your increase or slow down your intake, then you're increasing your time.
Yeah.
Drew, sorry, did I skip over you, Drew?
Yeah. One of these times I'm going to go through there and say that I have a hangover, and I'm going to go for number 27. Let somebody else do all the hard work and just lay there and have somebody else bring
breakfast.
That's
never going to happen. Never. That's
perfect.
You'll have to wait.
He's already set you around just for your cooking skills in the morning, so I think you can get away with it. On your birthday, the night before your birthday, and then on your birthday, it's like I'm just going to sit here.
Yeah.
And see what happens. How about you?
My next one actually is a question. Has everybody or anybody ever tried the prairie oyster?
No.
Ooh, no.
I do. No.
So
I
I've
did
got to
eat a prairie oyster.
at the same page. At the same page, because I've got a different interpretation for prairie oyster. That is.
I think Nick and I know the same one for prairie oyster, and it's not a drink.
Yeah.
It's not a drink.
No.
And I had one of those, and I did. And it was a brewery in Lethbridge, Cooley. I went to the Cooley, and then it was in the summer they had a prostate cancer. That was it. It was prostate cancer fundraiser for stuff. So, and then they had prairie oysters, which kind of goes with the prostate a little bit. And I told Laura was disgusted with me. She wouldn't try it. I said, I'm never going to have the chance again. And the thought of it was horrible, but the taste of it was very innocuous. It was
just a meatball.
Yeah. They have
a little bit chewy. Tell you the truth.
Down in Montana, they have a testicle festival.
Ooh.
Okay. Tell us about your testicle festival,
well,
please.
My friend prints the shirts for him, so that's the only. I thought, what the hell is this? It's got a picture with a cow with a bull on it with his legs crossed, and it says, "You want my what?"
Bull. I want your bulls. Your bulls.
So I never tried them.
Okay.
But in the military.
How about you know what, Drew? Let's go back to the military a little bit, because when I joined at 17, I was YTAP, and we were told at basic training, if you were so drunk you could not work the next day, you would be charged for something, because self-inflicted injury. Did you hear about this? Did this?
Yeah, I heard about it. I've known people to get charged for drunkenness, showing up actually drunk or drinking at work. The other one, no, I've never known a person to get charged with self-inflicted, because everybody showed up hungover, half snap, and you just threw up your way through the 10K morning run and went to work. Like it's.
Got it. Don't admit it. Just go throw up. Shut up.
Had a bunch of times back in battle school that you'd get back at 5:30 in the morning from the bar, just in time to shower, get into uniform, and go to PT.
Mm-hmm.
It's like you just keep going.
That's a rough day.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
A rough day. Got it. Okay. That was your question, Kent. But did you have a comment down here that you want, or do you want that to be your turn?
It was more of a question. Yeah.
All right. So you're up, or Sheila's up. One of you.
Sheila, go ahead.
I thought I just went. I have no
All
idea.
right. I was going backwards just to help Kent out, but if you're not,
No.
You can go for the black tea or the ginger tea.
Yeah. Or
Yeah.
Cheryl's got one.
Ginger tea is good. Black tea will, yeah, that'll.
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
I think like the tea and the coffee is pretty much the same thing because it's just saying caffeine, caffeine, and more
Yeah,
caffeine.
but the black tea, I find that the tan or whatever else, black tea just turns my stomach if I haven't had anything to eat. It's the first thing I have is like a cup of black tea in the morning. I feel like I'm going to throw up. Even like not drinking anything else, just have a tea.
I thought the
Are
illustration.
you doing water shots?
this is what Laura wanted me to do, but I can't. I'm trying to show you the emblem. It's just Cornwallis. So
Yeah.
this was basic training.
Yeah.
Anyway, water.
And a water shot.
A shot of water. Ooh, you go, dog.
The water is terribly important, though, and so
Oh, yeah.
our biggest festival, I think, in the city. I'm pretty sure we could call it the biggest in Alberta, is the MS, and I don't know if Calgary's bigger than Edmonton for our MS Whiskey Festival, but
Both the same.
Yeah.
if you don't have, I've gone through it where I have a lot of it, and you go from one to the next to the next to the next, and that's horrible. Well, yeah, you know people, and you get the good stuff under the table, but still, it's an excessive amount. So what I started doing probably 4 or 5 years ago was for every one whiskey or one table I went to, I'd have water after it. So
Yeah.
water, and I think it saved me quite a few times because that's always on a Wednesday night, and you're not taking a Thursday night off at school. So I think it saved me. I think it was a good thing.
The one that's always gotten me with the MS, the last couple of years, anyways, is there's bottles of water out all over the table for the VIP.
Mhm.
The second that hour is done, they're gone.
Yeah.
There's a
Oh
couple,
no, I always take those waters. I get them,
No,
and
but they
No,
run out. They run out
They
super
run out
fast,
really
and they don't fill them.
fast.
So
Okay.
there's jugs of water around,
Yeah.
but again, there's not enough glasses that are there because too many people. Yes, you can use your
Yeah.
Glencairn, but there's
Yeah.
you're then getting a little bit as opposed to having it. So I am trying to refill my water bottle, but it's just that's just it. The water seems to be fewer and far between the later you get in the evening.
I'll get there earlier.
Oh,
There you go.
no. I
Bob-
pay for the ticket to get my bottle of water.
yeah, I paid a lot of money for this water. I want it now. Now. All right, Kent, Cheryl, you have to be up. Kent, divert back to Sheila. She's got hers ready for the next round.
Sure. So I'll kind of follow that up. It's just refuel before you retire.
Water.
Seriously, that's been a go-to for years. It's something I've always made sure I do is I just guzzle water at bedtime. And yeah, it makes one hell of a difference.
It's amazing what an 8-ounce glass of water before you go to sleep.
Yeah.
It just means I wake up at 2:30 instead of 3:30.
That's a good
That's what
feeling.
that does for me. A
And
lot of
then
water.
when you're done, you drink another
So
8 ounce.
do you both agree with that?
There. Nicole.
Oh, well, I'm old. I can't stop. I'm sorry. I'm going to add something to this now. It's all the different things they said. So they said ginseng helps convert alcohol. So that was good. Feverfew. Do you remember that? They talked about feverfew for a pain reliever. I don't know what 3 of these are. Ginger is
Ginger's awesome.
good for
Helps
nausea. I knew
Yeah.
that. And because actually they have it in, what's that pill you take before you fly?
Gravel.
Gravel. Yeah, so and they have it in Gravol now, and I know that because when I went with my students on trips, I have lots of this stuff I'd be handing out to them. And artichoke extract. You remember reading that?
Yeah.
Helps the liver digest alcohol. Apparently, artichoke extract. And milk thistle, we already did that. And vitamin C just helps the liver, I guess. So those were all of the herbs, I guess, that would come in. Nick, you're up.
Well, to add one to your list, there is they talk about cabbage water.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
Stole mine.
Yes, we did.
Yeah, I didn't know where to put that, and I found it disgusting. But go ahead and tell us.
Well, it's just adding to your list. I was going to actually go back to a point that Sheila had mentioned was like the actual drawings to the book.
You don't like the pressure point?
It's the middle of the book. I opened it up. They're interesting
Also,
illustrations.
Mhm.
That's all.
And you made a good point. Actually, I don't know if it was you or Sheila made this point in the conversation we had before, but a lot of the people, the executive editor is female, senior editor female, copywriter female, proofreader Abby, I'm not sure, Americanizer Caitlin, so female, design manager, I'm not sure, designer female, and then illustrator is a guy. So the guy did the things with the guy. So I don't know, he didn't like. And production manager female. Explain why there are so many females in on this book, because we were talking about it being sexist, and well, we talked about it being a frat book offline, and when we were talking about this before, why so many females, and why are men looking so horrible in this book?
That's exactly why there's so many females, because it's always us guys that go back and
That
do this over and over and over again. Yeah.
I mean,
We just don't learn.
I was hoping
Disagree.
for one female with water or something, like just chugging water or working out.
I disagree. I know women who can drink just as much and abuse alcohol as much as any guy. So I think Sheila brought it up offline that there's something to be said about the tone to the book.
Yeah.
And with so many female editors and women involved in the production of this, it really begs the question of what innate behaviors are they seeing, or are they portraying then to society?
Typically become the idiots when we're drinking.
I don't know if you would buy a cover if it would seem distasteful for some reason, or more distasteful. This you had to read it to be or I don't know. I can't say. I thought about it and I couldn't really come down with one thing or another. I just knew that this was a frat book, and then I just accepted it as that, or frat book, bathroom book, and which is kind of where it belongs, like just in a bathroom. And some good ideas, sure.
Yeah.
Or some good ideas, sure. Drink water. Have someone drive you home. I agree with this. All these things are fantastic. But I want anyone last points before we sign off and do the after jam and talk more candidly about it.
Well, I think that us guys just are more whiny and wimpy when it comes to anytime, just even being sick.
It's very sexist of you.
Well, we lay around and we want to be looked after. And when I have a hangover, it's too bad.
Good. Call my mommy. My mommy knows how to help me out of it. John. All right. You know what? That's it. We're done. We're at 59 minutes and 3 seconds, and I'm going to sign off before we get to the full hour. So that's it. That's all the time we got. It's been, I'm not going to say fantastic evening. It's not like one of the great evenings we've had before. We haven't. And this has been a subject, and we fought through it. It's kind of funny in some things, but I'm really happy that you guys all showed up for this. So happy New Year to everybody. This was thank you to the listeners that fought through this with us. Thanks to the panel. Cheryl, Dave, Drew, Kent, Nick, Sheila. It's been an absolute pleasure again, no matter what the subject matter is. So, as always, let's hold up a glass. Here's the good company. Here's the good whiskey. Here's the good books. This was not one of them. But here's the good company. We had some good conversations. And here's to seeing you all next week, Saturday, January 9th, 2021. As we continue with our 6th book, The Complete Whiskey Course, a comprehensive tasting school in 10 classes. And it's Irish whiskey and Canadian whiskey, class 5 and 6. I think it's vice versa, though, Canadian and Irish, with Robin Robinson, someone who is a little bit more informed than this last one. And as a final note, you want to not miss this from time to time, click on the like, click the subscribe, and we are going to see you next week. Have a fantastic night, everybody.